baby, won't you meet me by the beach?
Good morning, beautiful people, or good afternoon, wherever you are seeing this video. Honest Am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another Alchemist read, boom boom, where we use the tarot to become the alchemist of our lives. A little bit about me: I do not just use the tarot, I use goddesses in the same sentence. I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop Charlemagne the God, it will not stop me. Angel number 29 and 30. All right, so guys, this is going to be our alchemist reading. This is the alchemist series where we literally just ask God for tools and insights on becoming the alchemist of our lives. When I say alchemist of our lives, I mean just trying to make change, being able to transition from our current reality to become unstuck. Excuse me. I really am trying to move away from manifestation, so more so to be in alignment with your highest calling of your life. That's what I mean when I say alchemist. So if that is what you enjoy, please check it out. If this is your first time finding the video, welcome. I have a lot of things. I actually, if this video really touches you, I actually will say go ahead and subscribe, because our daily motivational videos will really give you some daily, mindsets to just keep you focused on where you're trying to go. All right, I'm done talking. All right, God, what messages do you have for us to become the alchemist of our lives, to help bring heaven on earth, or just to do magic in public? God, what information do you deem worthy for us to hear at this time? Please deliver this information to me and through me as clear as possible. Any information, guidance, insight that you have, please deliver to us. If any of our guardian angels, ancestors, or beings of light would like to step forward, know that they are more than welcome. Beings of light only. Angel number 150. Oh. I'm going to 50. Wow. All right. I'm going to take them. All right, God, give us, clarify this message of wisdom, tenderness, surrender, and harmony. God, give us one starseed that you would like to wrap all of this up. What is our main focus for this alchemist reading, God? What do you want us to know this month, God? What do we need to focus on? I wish y'all can see how these cards be coming out, because lately they ain't got a mind of their own. I don't know why that just made this. I have like butterflies in my stomach. I don't know why this just made me so nervous and so anxious. And not anxious in a bad way, but just like, y'all, I am truly trying to document having a spiritual experience. Like, I want to know, I wish that our churches focus on this more, but I really want to know what it means to be a spiritual being, and what it means to walk hand in hand with the spiritual side and to become like Jesus Christ. I truly want to know what that is, and that's what it means to be an alchemist. God, I grew up in a black church, and I wasn't taught that God was just a regular person. He was just a regular person who chose to listen to his intuition and who chose to become the alchemist of his life. And because of his power, and because he tapped into who he really was, it scared everybody around him. See, this is the thing. Hollywood wants you to believe that you have to go to some school, that you have to, get the Hogwarts thing, or go to X-Men school of wizardry, Angel number 4, or do all these fucking courses online, all this stuff that the spiritual community is, this new age stuff is spilling out. Like, it's crazy that spirituality and mental wellness has just become like a luxury item, which it should have never been that way. It never was intended to be that way. But this is the thing, and this is how I know they got it all fucked up. And this is why I know it's all bullshit, because true magic is not something that's taught. I'm going to say it again. True magic is not something that can be taught. It's so, true magic is so natural. It's just like breathing. It's as natural as breathing. It's something you do without a second thought, because it's not anything that you're trying to become. It's just who you are. Intuition. Trust your intuition. It has been guiding you to the answer you seek. Angel number 505. I'm doing this on May 5th. Talk about fucking synchronicity. Talk about fucking Oh my God, y'all. I have like chills. My hands are cold. Like I can tell it's going to be a powerful message. I'm just, hold on. I feel like I need to like ground myself. Speaking of which, I don't have any of my, I'll be right back because that's probably why. We are back from that brief short commercial break. I ain't had none of my crystals out here. I'm like, I feel like I need to ground myself, and yeah, I need these crystals here. I'm sorry, I need to be here because I can feel this is about to be some shit. All right, so overall message: intuition. Trust your intuition. It has been guiding you to the answer you seek, and God is telling you to trust your intuition. Okay, let me just calm down. Contributing to intuition is wisdom. And it shows this angel on a mountain with like kind of like this light. This enlightenment is what I hear. Enlightenment. We have to realize that your intuition is kind of like the answer to the prayer. When you get these random inklings and these random nudges to do something, it's coming from a source that is greater than you. And so I feel like God is saying, use your wisdom. Go back over your life and think about all those times when you ignored your initial gut feeling. I don't know about you, but every single time I do not go with my gut feeling, I automatically regret it. Like, I was like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. I knew that. So God is saying, if you can be right in those small moments, because sometimes they're like small, insignificant shit. Like, oh, I should have turned this way. I knew it was going to be traffic. Or, oh, I knew if I would have went there, I would have got this parking spot. But if God can do that for these small instances, why don't you trust him for the bigger things? Tenderness. We have this angel petting this cat. The problem that I have with church and religion is that they try to pose God as Santa Claus. They try to pose him as somebody who is weighing the pros and cons, and somebody who is saying, well, are you being a good person? Are you deserving of this? And if you look at the world, you will see that not good people and not deserving people are running it. And that's why it's fucking chaos. Why is that? That's because the real truth about God is that God does not, he has no bearings on what's right or wrong. He don't have no bearings on what's right and wrong. I'm going to get it from Conversations with God. 1 second. I got to start earmarking this stuff because this was actually kind of the most enlightening thing for me to hear. Okay. And that's so... Yeah. Oh my God. Why open up right to where I need to be? Oh my God. Angel number 924. Anyways, y'all don't even know what's going on over here. Here we go. If you believe that God, remember this is my Conversations with God, and this is God responding. I judge if it's true, if it rang true to me. And it touched this statement. I remember reading it over and over, and I was like, shit. Like, it fucked me up. Here we go. Angel number 950. If you believe that God is some omnipotent being who hears all prayers, says yes to some, no to others, and maybe but not now to the rest, you are mistaken. By what rule of thumb will God decide? If you believe that God is the creator and decider of all things in your life, you are mistaken. God is the observer, not the creator. And God stands ready to assist you in living your life, but not in the way you might expect. It is not God's function to create or uncreate the circumstances or conditions of your life. God created you in the image and likeness of God. You have created the rest. Through the power God has given you, God created the process of life and life itself as you know it. Yet God gave you free choice to do with this life as you will. In this sense, your will for God is God's will for you. God wants what you want. Period. That's why you got that ain't shit ass nigga, because you prayed for him, you got him. That's why y'all can't break up, because you say, God, please don't take him from my life, and he's still there. Let me keep going. Oh, shit. You are living your life in a way. You are living your life the way. I know, God. I know. I'm just. Oh, calm down. Someone told me to bring this book too. Angel Derby 1130. In a sense, your will for God is God's will for you. You are living your life the way you are living your life, and I have no preference in the matter. That is the grand illusion in which you have engaged, that God cares one way or the other what you do. I do not care what you do. That is hard for you to hear. I do not care what you do. That is hard for you to hear. Yet do you care? Yet do you care what your children do when you send them out to play? Is it a matter of consequence to whether they play tag or hide and seek or pretend? No, it is not. Because you know they are in a perfectly safe environment. You have placed them in an environment which you consider friendly and very okay. Of course, you will always hope they would not hurt themselves. And if they do, you will be right there to help them, heal them along to help them to safe again. Excuse me, blah, blah, blah. And if they do, you will be right there to help them, heal them, allow them to feel safe again, to be happy again, and to go and play again another day. But whether they choose hide and seek or pretend or not will not matter to you. Okay. But whether they choose hide and seek or pretend will not matter to you the next day either. You will tell them, of course, which games are dangerous to play, but you cannot stop your children from doing dangerous things. Not always, not forever, not in every moment from now until death. It is the wise parent who knows this. Yet the parent never stops caring about the outcome. It is the dichotomy, not caring deeply about the process, but caring deeply about the results, that comes to describe the dichotomy of God. Yet God, in a sense, does not even care about the outcome, not the ultimate outcome. This is because the ultimate outcome is assured. This is the second great illusion of man, that the outcome of life is in doubt. It is this doubt about your ultimate outcome that you're created your greatest enemy, which is fear. For if you doubt outcome, then you must doubt creator. You must doubt God. And if you doubt God, you must live in fear and guilt all your life. If you doubt God's intentions and God's ability to produce this ultimate result, then how can you ever relax? How can you ever truly find peace? I'm going to say that again. It is this doubt. And I'm going to stop reading this because I know you like, come on, get there. And this is the second greatest illusion of man, that the outcome of life is in doubt. It is this doubt about the ultimate outcome that has created your greatest enemy, which is fear. For if you doubt the outcome, then you must doubt creator. You must doubt God. And if you doubt God, you must live in fear and guilt all your life. If you doubt God's intentions and God's ability to produce this ultimate result, then you can never ever relax. How can you ever truly find peace? Yet God has full power to match intentions with results. You cannot I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop there. What I want to focus on, because I know I said a lot, and I know you probably like, whoa, I told you get the book. What I want to focus on is this part right here. God is the observer, not the creator. The tenderness. You think God is judging you for the things that you want, and God could care less. It is not God's function to create or uncreate the circumstances of your life. That's why you ask God, oh God, please do something. Please heal me. Please. The reason why he can't do it is because you are not clear. And the reason why you're not clear is because you're not using your wisdom and you're not looking at your past from God's eyes. God created you in the image and likeness of God. You have created the rest through the power God has given you. So what does that say? What does that say to you? My thing is, if you know that God, and the same thing goes to the Bible, back to my church people, Romans, 8:28. If you know that God plans for you, is that you only had two conditions. If you are walking your path and if you love God, then everything else will work out, right? So why would you doubt yourself? Why would you doubt these visions that come into your mind? Why would you, when you make a mistake or when an obstacle come up, why would you not use your wisdom and be like, oh, maybe this is to teach me something. This is to do something. Why wouldn't you use give yourself tenderness and kindness versus beating yourself up? Because God's not beating you up. God's not judging you. That's the world that put that on him. You know, every time somebody says something about like, oh, you're going to hell, the God don't want this. I always imagine God being like Nene, being like, now why am I in it? Like God is like, what? I'm just observing. That's why there are undeserving people who have accelerated in this matrix, because they don't give a fuck about all this stuff that you are so worried about. You're worried about your mama feelings. You're worried about your brother feelings. You're worried about what other people would think. You're worried about, am I being a good person? You're worried about, do God cares? And that person is just straight. That's why narcissists and all these other stuff are excelling and running the country, because they don't give a fuck about none of us. And they recognize that it's only about me protecting me. And if only we could take that attitude that I don't give a fuck what nobody think, and I have to protect myself, and I'm going to be kind and tender and giving to myself, but then also being tender and nurturing to everybody around us, then we can excel. The last thing that God is saying, surrender. You're not smarter than God. I think another thing that you have to understand is that the reason why every time an obstacle come up or inconvenience come up, you try to make it, you be like, oh my God, why is this happening? Instead of just being wise, instead of just being like, oh, okay, well, obviously this is happening for a reason. I honestly, the crazy thing is, I kind of like made this official, like, declaration in my mind that this, I'm going to walk this path. I'm going to see it through. I'm going to trust my intuition no matter where it leads me. And it seemed like as soon as I did that, just all this shit just started happening in my life. Like my truck went down, and like all this shit was just happening. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I get that. A lot of people are like, well, why does this path have to be so hard? Why da. And it's not about it being hard. It's about you have to get yourself ready for the road that you are about to lead. Like you count it on joy when you come across trials of any kind, because they are working for your good. So if you would just use your wisdom and have kindness whenever any type of obstacle or inconvenience come about, and you just surrender to that thought and that knowing that God wants the best for your life, then you will be more in harmony. Angel number 1924. Then life won't be so chaotic. Then you won't be so tossed about and upset when inconveniences come. I recognize that about myself. Like I used to, when anything bad happened in my life, I took it as though it was like a punishment from God. Like, oh, I fucked up. Oh, so now this fuck up is happening in my life. And then this last month, like all this stuff was happening, but it was like it wasn't affecting me the same way. Like I was moving differently, and I wasn't like a couple of times I would like be like, oh, like even at work sometimes I'd be like, oh, what the fuck? But then it's like I do it and it's still not affecting me the same way. And it's because I'm starting to understand that wisdom and that tenderness and that like everything just, life is what it is. Everything is all about balance. So if I had a lot of sadness, that means I need to have happiness. If there's been a lot of chaos in my life, that means that I have to eventually understand joy and peace. And sometimes the path to get there is going to be rocky, but it's only rocky so that you can understand how to get to the fucking other side and possibly tell other people how to do that. At least that's what I think it should be about, teaching other people how to navigate it. But going back to this message is about why it's so important for you to trust your intuition. You need to trust your intuition and become one with your intuition, as though, and not even just your intuition, also emotions. I'm about to start pulling out some tarot cards, but I also feel like God is saying you have to become one with your emotions. And if you become more with your emotions is really your guidance system, your promptings. Like when you're feeling sad and depressed, it's because God is like, time to make a move. Like something ain't right. You need to change something. And then when you say, okay, I'm ready to change, the next thing that your intuition or the prompting you get, you should be wise enough to follow it through. And then if any obstacles come up in your way to that dream or where you're trying to go, be kind to yourself. Don't look at it as though God is trying to punish you. Look at it as, okay, what is this trying to teach me? How can I grow from this? How can I get better from this? How can I maneuver from this? Again, guys, us being alchemists in our lives, we don't need the world to be perfectly fine for us to be okay. When I was in yoga training, this lady told us this story about her guru. And it was a story that his daughter, he was going to do this conference. And all these people were coming to pay him, and he was at this venue, and people were waiting to see him speak, hundreds and hundreds of people. And he got this news that his daughter was in a plane crash, or the flight that his daughter was on was in a plane crash. And so, everybody's thinking like, oh, this show's about to stop. How he's going to do this. His daughter, just got, his daughter's potentially dead. What's going on? But the teacher continued to go on. And he did the sermon. And by the time he got off, he ended up finding out that his daughter didn't get on the plane. She ended up taking the train. And so the story and the thing that at first I'm like, well, why is she saying this story? Like, it's such a bizarre and out there, parable. But the thing is, you can't, when things go wrong, like his daughter, dying in a plane crash, there was nothing that he was going to be able to do from where he was right then and there. If he would have been like, oh, distraught, I can't see these people. What about all those people and all? I mean, I don't even know why I told that story, but it's just like, I just feel like God just wants you to understand that you have to start seeing the blessings in the inconvenience. See the blessings in things that didn't go well. See the blessings in, your journey, because that's really what the journey is about. I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who has been working hard and they're not seeing the payoff. And God is trying to remind you that while you're on this road, it's not about the payoff. That's why it's so important for you to feel better now. It's so better for you to feel this sense of fulfillment, this sense of contentment now, because it's not about you reaching a destination. If you're only going to feel better when you get that destination, then you're really not trying to become the alchemist of your life. You're just trying to manifest some shit. And it's not the channel for you. God, clarify this message of intuition, wisdom, tenderness, and surrender. God, what are you trying to get us to understand about wisdom, tenderness, surrender, and harmony? How can we just surrender to your process and to your will? How can we use the wisdom of our path and on our journey and of our past to give ourselves more kindness, to bring us in a place of harmony. God, what are you trying to get us to understand about this message? Make it as plain as possible. What do you want us to understand about God being the observer and not the creator, and us having the power to actually make the decisions to manifest our life? Y'all ain't hearing God. The ones, I guess, the ones with the ears to hear can hear it. Angel number 2502. But that's okay. I'm gonna keep preaching. I'm gonna keep ringing this bell. I know y'all like Amber, because it's just so much. Oh God, so much good shit coming up here. So much good stuff coming. So much good stuff coming. Y'all, this is, please, please, please listen to these messages. Take them in, y'all. I promise y'all, I'm not somebody just trying to sell y'all some shit or none of that. Like, I listen to these videos and I have been applying it, and I can tell, I feel different. Like, I literally was calling myself a billionaire the other day. I was literally like, I'm a billionaire. Oh my God, I'm gonna be a billionaire. Oh my God, Cuddy's gonna be a famous puppy. Like, I've just been saying all of this stuff because I feel it. And it's not even because I feel it. I also see it because I've been putting in the work. And so God is saying, get out of my own business. Intuition, trust your intuition. It has been guiding you to the answer you seek. The 10 of Cups. God is saying that your intuition, that big dream that you want, that vision that you got, God put it on your heart for a reason, right? He put it on your heart for a reason so that you can have somewhere to look forward to, somewhere to go. And now he's giving you your intuition to kind of take those baby steps. See, the problem is we get so caught up in the big picture. And okay, I got to move to LA. I got to move to Atlanta. Instead of figuring out, okay, what can I do right here, right now to prepare me for where I'm going? So if I wanted to be an actress, right? Instead of being like, all right, I need to get to Atlanta so that I can make this happen, I will be like, okay, what can I do right now to make me feel like I'm on my way to, becoming an actress? And your mind be like, you should start looking at your diet. You should start working out more. You should start, looking at your appearance. You should start doing this. You should start doing some YouTube videos. You hear what I'm saying? Your intuition is trying to get you, is helping you get those baby steps. That's why you really don't have to, it's like, it's good to have a vision in mind, but you don't have to get so caught up in trying to figure out, okay, well, how am I going to make it happen? How am I going to get there? That's why I actually love the process of writing my books. Like, I've learned so much about life, and I feel like God has been teaching me about life through the process of working on my book. Because this last month, I spent a whole week just working on my book. I'm reading my book, and the whole time I'm reading it, it's so good, but it was like another part of my mind that was editing it and being like, okay, so how can I do this and how can I do that? And then it was like another part of me got super excited thinking about the end. And then I'm like, but what type of artist am I, how am I gonna have a publisher and what I'm gonna do this? And it's like, then I started to panic and I started to get ahead of myself. And I had to remind myself, hey, boo, we not there yet. You not there at the point where you need to start thinking about agents and thinking about ownership percentages. Like, girl, you ain't even there yet. You need to finish this goddamn book. And that's a lot of us. We're already thinking about, oh, well, how I'm going to meet Jay-Z or how I'm going to get, it's like, girl, just do the baby steps of starting a fucking business, right? And your intuition is giving you those steps to take. Your intuition, that was what I was about to say. You don't have to worry about what's the next step or what do you need to do to get there, because your intuition is going to naturally get you to the next step. And I'll give you just a really quick example of how that happened for me. I always knew I wanted to do a YouTube channel. I just didn't know what I would do it with or how I would do it. But back 5 or 6 years ago, I have these plans. And I was like, I'm going to do a YouTube channel, but I had no idea what it'd be about. At first, I thought it would be TV reviews and all this other stuff. Then I started to get into really watching a lot of tarot videos. And a lot of the people that I will watch will be like, if you watch a lot of these videos, you should just do it yourself. Like, obviously, there's something that, you know, that's drawing you to it. And so I got a deck. This is my very first deck. And so I got this deck, and I just kept like playing with it. And I found myself like, you know, my intuition getting better and better because I was using these tarot cards. And then I had read The Alchemist again, and then I was just like, oh man, like I just feel like there's so many parables with The Alchemist. And anyways, long story short, God was like, you should do this Alchemist series or whatever. And I think I did, no. So I'm looking at all these tarot videos. God started having me do these things where I started like calling Honest Mondays. I started doing these Honest Mondays where I just like pretty much just put myself on the screen and talk about my day or talk about Monday, blah, blah, blah. Honest Wednesdays, talk about Wednesdays, blah, blah, blah. Then God was like, okay, you should do this series about The Alchemist. So then I started recording myself about The Alchemist. Then I started doing these little short videos on Instagram Live or, you know, like the IGTV, doing these short little tarot things. Then I was like, it was just like, oh, I think I don't even know how it evolved, but something was just like, you got to do a YouTube channel. So I say that to say that when I first started my book, I had no idea that I will start Honestly Sis, or I will start a podcast, B, start Honestly Sis, and C, somehow end up be doing tarot later down the road. But obviously, it's in my path. And that also goes back to what I was telling you. I never took a tarot class. I never did any of this shit. Like, this is just in me, you know, like it's just natural. And one thing that I'll say before I get to this wisdom card is that a year ago I was talking to it was like Thanksgiving, and I was talking to my dad, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but he's like, you know, honestly, Amber, it makes sense that you're doing this type of stuff because, you know, your great grandma was a voodoo priestess, and your great grand, like, so it's like, this is just in my blood. And that's the thing what God is trying to get you to understand. Your intuition is just it's just in you. Like, you really don't need somebody to teach you any of this stuff. All you really do need to do is just tap in and really get clear on your vision, where you want to go, and just take those promptings to get there. I'm done talking. Wisdom, the King of Swords come out. And when the King of Swords come out, I see Issa. But the King of Swords is really about somebody who, you know, who's not afraid to like make business decisions, who's not afraid to also set strong boundaries. And I feel like what God is saying, you know, using your intuition. I feel like what God is saying, using your intuition about this vision that you have. Like, you don't have to tell everybody, you know, what you're trying to do or where you're trying to go after, because the truth of the matter is a lot of people are not even going to understand your vision. Angel number 3240. Like, I'm honestly at the point where it's like, I can't even tell nobody what I do on a day-to-day basis because you wouldn't get it. You know, like, you just would not understand what I'm doing. But I know I'm doing something. I know when I go to sleep exhausted because of what I'm putting into myself and my visions and what I'm trying to create in my life. And I also know that I've gotten to the point where I am protective of my vision. I am protective of where I'm trying to go. And so I'm not so sharing it to everybody. And I am, like, you know, wise about ruling my kingdom and who gets access to me and what I have. And I feel like what God is saying is, don't be afraid to, as you're starting to, you know, you have this vision, don't be afraid to keep it to yourself. Don't be afraid to, you know, set those firm boundaries of, you know, making sure people, you know, pass a litmus test of where you feel comfortable to really share with them like that. And I also feel like this is God saying, use your wisdom to look over your past, to think about the times where you thought that something was impossible and see how God ended up bringing it about anyway. And if God can do it for something that you didn't even want to do, for me, I'm thinking about, you know, me, you know, being in accounting, you know, me being in public accounting. I remember I was like one of the youngest people there. I remember I was literally one of the youngest interns in the public accounting. Like, I got an internship with a public accounting firm my sophomore year in college. That's unheard of, you know. And it's like, if I could do that, if God could bless me that way, on some shit that I don't even want, why can't he do it for something that I love and I'm passionate about? So again, God is saying, look back over your life, see those small indicators of when God came through for you for something that you really wasn't passionate about, and know that he can really come through for you for the things that you really want. For tenderness, we have the Six of Swords, and I feel like this is God saying, turn away from all things that are no longer serving to you. Be willing to go in your emotions and go into your feelings, and like be honest communicating to yourself and to others about how they make you feel. Like, if people are not kind to you, I don't give a fuck who they are. If they your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, if you're not kind to you, or if they don't make you feel good, or if they're not supporting who you're trying to become, then you have to be tender. You have to be careful and protective of yourself so that you can get the blessings that you need. I had this realization that, I know it's not popular to talk about not talking to your parents. And I know it's not popular. And I know that like, you gotta honor your parents and all of that stuff. Like, I've heard it. But it's like, if you are in the process of trying to build yourself up, right? If you're in the process of trying to expand past something that you've never seen before, you are in a vulnerable state. Like, you don't have time to be around anything that makes you feel less than. And so I feel like what God is saying, that to protect yourself and to protect your vision and where you're going, use your intuition on when it's telling you to turn away from people, even if it's unpopular, even if it's against, your family norms, your social norms. Like, trust yourself, that you know what's best for you. And also with this Six of Swords, I've been hearing that Six of Swords also deals with the internet. Be mindful of the type of people that you're following. If it's just like a lot of cattiness, also trust your intuition with that. I remember today I was listening to a tarot reader that I actually love, because I've told you guys I've been trying to stay away from it, but I was listening to somebody that I actually really, trust, and a lot of her stuff, kind of is similar to mine. We always are kind of on the same path. But this morning I was listening to her, and she said something, and it triggered some anxiety in me, and I immediately shut it down, because it was, it was just feeling this uneasiness. And that's not saying like what she was saying was wrong or whatever, but it was like I had to trust myself that, okay, I had to trust my intuition, like, okay, I don't need to listen to this right now. And that's not saying I'm probably never going to listen to it, but it's like trusting my body at that time, saying, no, this is not the path that we need to go. So God is saying, be mindful, be tender with yourself. Also, the last thing I want to say about this Six of Swords is, as you're turning away from people, you see she still has these swords in the boat with her. So it's like she's turning away from the people, but she's still holding on to the harmful the harmful communications and the things that was said to her. God is saying, just completely turn away, let it go, release those things to God. Like, let God deal with that. I was a funny joke. I called myself stepping my ass back out here in this dating world, and I was like, because I'm horny. Like, I'm human. I've been in a 7-year relationship, so I'm used to having a certain amount. I'm used to, getting in. That's why this shit took so long for it to end, because I'm just used to that being a steady, part of my life, and now it's not. And for a moment, I was about to mess with somebody, and I'm not even gonna go there. Gotta say surrender, because I don't want to tell my business. But long story short is, I remember that this guy, it's like people are just, I couldn't do it. Like, I realized, the guy was so disrespectful. He has a girlfriend. And at first I was going to be like, oh, well, that's on them. But then I'm like, I just can't do that. Like, he lived with her. And I'm like, I just can't do that to another woman. Like, that just don't make me feel right. I was in a similar situation. And then it had me thinking about my ex. And I'm like, oh my God, did this nigga disrespect me like this? I'm just like, these guys who are in relationships are hella disrespectful. And they really are for everybody. And so I was just thinking damn, did that nigga, was he like that with me? And then I had to realize, you know what? That's God. I can't even try to think about the past and try to backtrack and wonder, that's on God. If he did that to me, that's between him and God. And that's what we have to realize. Like, we try to, and that's our ego, you know, at the end of the day, that's just our ego don't want to have our pride. But if people have did shady shit behind our back, that's not on us. That's something that they have to deal with God. And that's also a reflection of who they are. You know, how people treat you is really says a lot about them and not you. And so have some tenderness. For surrender, God has had the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles, we see this woman here. Six of Pentacles is about putting in time, effort, and attention in the things that you do every day. And kind of like it coming back to you is why I see the Six of Pentacles. So God is saying, when you just surrender, when you trust your intuition, when you use your wisdom, when you turn away from the things that are no longer serving to you and surrender to the process, then that is how God can bless you. When you try to hold on to things, or you try to stay in situations because you think that you know better than God, then how can God bless you, right? We have to realize that we are co-creating with God. This thing about God being the observer, when I say we're co-creating with God, what I'm saying is that it's just, it really goes back to what that was saying. With God being the observer, he's not weighing any type of, you know, pros and cons on what you want to do, right? So if you're judging yourself because you having to turn away from somebody, then then how can God bless you? Right? Because you're not just turning away from no longer, you know, because what you really feel like is like, well, God, you're making me to give these people up. Do you know what I'm saying? I guess I want you to understand that it's your self-judgment. It's your self-belief. It's the limitations that you put on yourself that are holding you back. It's what you believe that who God is. Like your definition of God that's skewed the way that he can bless you and give to you. Make sense? Harmony. God is saying, if you trust your intuition, if you use your wisdom by setting those boundaries, by turning away from the things that no longer serve you, by surrendering to the process and allowing God to give and to receive, you know, to allowing God to work in your life any way that he want to work so that you can receive the blessings for him, then you will be in ultimate harmony and you will have the ultimate healing and blessing that you want. Angel number 4141. Angel number 4140. So we see the star. The star is all about total healing and total fulfillment. This is a woman who is butt ass naked out in the daylight. She's in this water. Water is meaning that she's grounded in her emotions but also being grounded in the ground. So she's balanced. Then that's what God is trying to get you to understand. Once you're grounded in your emotions, that is letting you know that once you're grounded in your emotions, right? Your emotions are giving you information that is pretty much your intuition. So say you get a thought that come in and you get this. Okay. Say you get a thought that come in. I'm sorry. because I really want you to understand this. Say you get a thought that comes in and you get excited about it. But then your mind starts telling you, oh, you can't do that. It didn't work out in the past, blah, blah, blah. Then you're not going to be able to get the blessing that you want, right? What God is saying is that when that thought comes in and you get excited and you start thinking about this vision of where you want to go, then you start using your wisdom and start moving in a way and start setting boundaries so that you can get there and turning away from the things that you want. Then that's how God can bless you. And that's how the ultimate blessing and healings can come in your life. You hear what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is when you get those ideas that get you excited, make you feel good, that is like God. That's like low key a call or response for God telling you, yes, this is something that you really should do. And if you use the wisdom, if you turn away from the thing, be kind to yourself when any obstacles come about, surrender to the process, then God can bless you and you can have the ultimate healing and you ultimately realize how you become one in harmony with the universe. And I mean, you'll be out of here. Literally, you'll be out of here. You're a star. Okay. Really, really quickly, I want to just get one tool, God. Clarify this message of intuition, wisdom, tenderness, surrender, and harmony, God. What are you trying to get us to understand with this message, God? Just give us one tool to clarify this message of using our emotions and using our emotions to follow our intuition, to set strong boundaries. To follow our intuition, to set strong boundaries by trusting our intuition. turning away from things that are no longer serving us, surrendering to the process so that we can receive the blessings and the healings that we ultimately deserve. Make it as plain as possible. One card, God. One card to wrap it up. I low-key am mad because I should have known that card was gonna come out. I knew that card was gonna come out. That low-key makes so much sense now. All right, I'm gonna run through these really, really quickly. So for intuition in the Ten of Cups, what came out is the law of attraction adds power to both my problems and solutions. This makes so much sense. The realization that something is not as you want it to be is an important first step. But once you have identified that, the faster you are able to turn your attention to the direction of a solution, the better because a continual expression. Slow down and start over. The realization that something is not as you want it to be is an important first step. But once you have identified that, the faster you are able to turn your attention in the direction of a solution, the better, because a continual exploration of the problem will prevent you from finding the solution. The problem is a different vibrational frequency from the solution, and all thoughts or vibrations are affected by or managed by the law of attraction. So what is this card telling us? This card is telling us that you can't even get to the level of your solution, the level of your intuition, the level of trusting your intuition because you're so focused on the problem. So God is saying the moment that you just say, okay, this situation is not how I want it to be. This is not how I want my life to go. I don't want it to be like this. I am turning away from all of these things that are no longer serving to me. I'm going to focus on looking for a solution, because what it says, because the continuing exploration of the problem will prevent you from finding the solution. So he's saying, you get that prompting, right? This job is fucked up. Instead of keep looking at the job is fucked up, what you're doing is focusing on, well, what job will be amazing for me? The job that will be amazing for me is a job in which I can be the emperor or the controller of my life. I'm a creative. That's the job that I want for me, or wherever, supplement this wherever you are. Anything that comes up that takes me away from becoming the creative that I want to be, I'm going to turn away from it. Anybody that makes me feel like I can't be the creator, anybody who doesn't support where I'm going, I'm going to turn away from that, because I have to be kind and tender to myself. If you do that, then God is saying you're surrendering. You're surrendering to, I'm going to see this through no matter what happens. Once you do that, then God can begin to gift you with the things that you want, because that's how the solution can come in, right? Because you're no longer focusing on the problem. God is saying you stop focusing on the problem. You think and just think about something being better. Then be strong and not looking at what's currently going on, turning away from it, focusing on the solution. God has no choice but to bring it in. This is literally breaking down the law of attraction adds to both the problem and the solution. If you do that, you will have ultimate healing. Then you won't have to feel so much panic about when obstacles arise, because you know that you're the alchemist. You know that as soon as you stop thinking about that problem and just focus on a solution, the solution is going to come in. So why would you panic, right? Because you're equipped. You panic because you feel like you don't know. But if you know, you know, right? All right. Running through these really quickly. With wisdom, we have my life is as good as I allow it to be. Like the air you breathe, abundance in all things is available to you. Your life will simply be as good as you allow it to be. That's what God is telling you, to use your wisdom. Why are you still beating yourself up? If things have been bad for your whole life, then that means that you have no choice but for things to get better, right? We all need to be like Corey. Like, my bad luck been ran up. In the middle, for tenderness, God is saying, I will praise success whenever you see it. When you find yourself critical of the way anyone has attracted or is using money, you are pushing money away from you. So when you're hating on the Kardashians, you are pushing that money away from you. When you're hating on celebrities, and when you're hating on J&B and all that other crazy shit, when you're putting out that shit, you're being a troll on the internet, you're pushing all your shit away from you. But when you realize that what others do with their money has nothing to do with you, and that your primary thought is to think and speak what you do feel is good to you, and be in alignment, not only about the subject of money, but about every important thing. And so God is saying, whenever anything comes up, even when people don't agree with you, it's like that Keanu Reeves, when people say, I'm at the point in my life, when people say 2 + 2 = 5, I'm like, yes, have a good day, enjoy. Because that's how we have to move. We have to realize that our alignment, us being focused on where we're going, nothing is more important than that. So that's why it's okay for you to turn away from your mama, your daddy, or your brother, your sister, whoever, because nothing is more important than you getting where you need to go. And honestly, you getting where you need to go and you being on your intended path, by you being so selfish and so focused on that, that's going to allow them to look at their self and to allow their selves to get to where they need to go. For surrender, God is saying, For surrender, God is saying, the better my life story gets, the better my life gets. Begin telling yourself the story you desire, and then add the details of the positive aspects that you can find to match those desires, and then embellish. Wouldn't it be nice if you can say things like, only good things come to me and I'll figure it out as I go along. Every time you tell yourself a better feeling story, you will feel better and the details of your life will improve. The better it gets, the better it gets. So what God is saying is, when those inconveniences come up, instead of you being like, oh my God, God don't like me, angel number 5022, tell yourself, oh, this is coming up to teach me something good. I literally have, I don't want to take it off because it may not come up anymore. I literally have 2 things that have been taped on my mirror, and now it's right here. Everything is as it should be, and the universe is for me, and everything else is. Whenever I find myself getting anxious or feeling like shoulda, coulda, woulda, I be like, everything is as it should be. That is just my thought. Like, before I even allow myself to go down there, everything is as it should be. And when I feel like something is going on, or like, something, even it was like my dog, he stopped sleeping in the bed with me. And I was like, what the fuck is this about? Is he sick? Is he this? Then I had to tell myself, no, the universe is for me and everything is. He's just growing the fuck up. So it's like, instead of just allowing our mind to like go crazy, try to use those 2 mantras. And I got those from Adrian. And I mean, honestly, those have been so helpful. Whenever I'm starting to go into those spirals, because you can follow the trail of good feeling thoughts, or you can let yourself go somewhere else. So whenever I do that, I'll be like, everything is as it should be. No need to panic. God is for me, and so is everything else. Last thing, God is, oh my God. Like, you cannot get more. Look at this synchrony. Harmony, harmony, harmony. All of this harmony. I want to harmonize with my desires. Anytime you feel negative emotions, stop and say, something is important here. Otherwise, I would not be feeling this negative emotion. What have I been saying? Angel number 5150. Anyways, y'all don't be believing me. I don't know. I'm listening to this. Yeah. Anytime you feel negative emotions, stop and say, something is important here. Otherwise, I will not be feeling this negative emotion. What is it that I want? And then simply turn your attention to what you do want. In that moment, you will turn your attention to what you do want, and the negative attraction will stop. And in the moment the negative attraction stops, the positive attraction will begin. And in that moment, you would feel your feelings will change from not feeling good to feeling good. That is the pivoting process. And so, what God is, to break this message down even further, what God is trying to say is that when you're feeling less than good, use your intuition and ask, like, why is this coming up? It's probably coming up because God is trying to get you to think about something differently, to make a call, and to move differently. If you start to move differently, and if you are to use these moments of inconvenience and these, honestly, I think it really comes down to it. God wants you to know that emotions are your friends, and that you should trust your emotions, and you shouldn't shy away from them and from what they're trying to tell you. Like, I didn't realize that I was like holding on to like the hurt of it, of being like, damn, I'm like really sad that I'm not with him. Like, I like it low key, like when that stuff with that guy happened, I'm like, fuck, like this is his fault. Like, like we had such a good thing going, like, and I had to like realize that and allow myself to cry that I was really, like it supposed to hurt. Like, it was real, like it was 7 years of my life. So it's like, instead of trying to deny myself that it hurts and that, I do miss him and that, all of the other things that come with that, it's like, it made me realize that I say that to say that me realizing that, me crying made me realize that as much as I'm hurt that, that didn't work out, it made me realize that I really do want love. Like, I really am ready for a relationship, because I'll be talking to some of these people and I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, it's just, I don't know. But that's just to say, like, me listening to my emotions, allowing myself to cry, made me come to this realization that, oh, I am ready to be in a relationship. I am ready to share my life with another and to do this again. Like, it's not like I'm giving up on love. Yes, that didn't work out, but I do want love. And then my intuition was like, write about it. And I wrote about it. And then now I'm clear on my boundaries. And that's just like why I could not even allow myself to mess with that guy, because my life is only going to be as good as I allow it. And it's like, God has already given me a vision of somebody who is for me. So it's like, am I really going to trust that vision that God gave for me? Or am I going to lower my standards because I'm trying to just live in the right now moment? That's also a message that God wants you to know. If he gave you a vision, or if he told you this is going to happen, then your job is to stand in it and be like, oh, it's going to happen. And anything that ain't that, I'm going to turn away from it. Because that's what I realized. Like, though I caught myself doing these things in these moments, doing this stuff to get myself in the moment, it always didn't feel right, because it didn't match it didn't match the person that God told me I was supposed to be with. So of course it was always going to be disappointing. And so it's like, are you going to trust the law of attraction as to both the problem and the solution? Am I going to either focus on the fact that this vision hasn't come about right now, or am I going to focus on, okay, God gave me that vision, it's not here yet, so now I just need to focus on doing what I need to do to make it come about? And maybe it's not something that you can make come about. Maybe it's something that's beyond you, angel number 56, and your whole thing, the whole mission is for God to get you to this place to surrender. To just let you so that God can show you how he can bless you. It's all in how we think about it. All right. Final message is actually going to come from our Sufis. They've been getting a lot of love lately. Final message from the Sufis. All right, God. Clarify this message of also what God is saying. You need to change the way that you communicate with yourself so that you can shift your belief system. All of this, I feel like for somebody, you're trying to understand, how do I trust my intuition? How do I do that? And you trust your intuition by becoming one with your emotions. If you there's no one without the other. Like, you can't be an alchemist and be closed off to your emotions. Like, you have to become one. Honestly, that's why Drake is so powerful, because he's not afraid to be in both his feminine and masculine side. He's not afraid to be both vulnerable and be a savage. You have to embrace that. We joke about it, but it's honestly his strength, and it's honestly why so many people connect to his music. That was random, but it's real. All right, God, clarify this message of intuition, wisdom. Actually, God, clarify this message of the law of attraction as to both our problem and solutions. What are you just trying to get us to understand about harmonizing with our desires and using our wisdom, being kind to ourselves and surrendering to the process? How do we just get to harmony? I mean, how do we get to harmony, God? How do we harmonize with our desires and get full healing? How do we shift our belief system? Or what do you want us to know today, God? One message, God. Wrap it up in a bow. Allow no room for confusion or doubt to enter either me or the reader's mind. Or the viewer's mind. God name I pray. Readers. Hey, number 2805. I was thinking about my book. My readers. Accept challenges. Trust your inner resources. Wow. If we haven't been talking about that the whole time. Ooh, I heard y'all getting two. Silence the mind. Silencing the mind. Let the silence guide your inner peace. So God is saying, get out your head. Again, that goes back to the law of attraction as to both your problems and your solutions. You focusing on it so much, your attention, your intention, you focusing on it so much, it's only recreating that problem. Actually, there's a video I just reposted on my IG Joey Badass says that your current living is nothing but your past thoughts. It's nothing but a manifestation of your past thoughts. So if you want to change something, you need to change your thoughts. Here we go. Accept challenges, trust your inner resources, rise above time and space, pass by the world and be to yourself your own world. Every time we face a difficulty in life, it presents us with an opportunity to turn away and invoke our own inner resources. I said this, but I'm going to read it. I said all of this. Okay. Every time we face a difficulty in life, it presents us with an opportunity to turn inwards and invoke our own inner resources. For pure love that does not seek satisfaction, nothing is impossible. In fact, we develop strength when we endure difficult conditions. We feel the exhilaration of victory as we accept the challenge by engaging our inner resources to overcome them. If you are facing situations you know are critical to your success but feel powerless to perform, it may be because you feel the challenges are beyond your capabilities. Sufi wisdom is guiding you to look beyond incidental events and not just react haphazardly. The divine pearl embedded inside you will help you overcome any challenges life presents. Most of the greatest discoveries have emerged from despair, loss, and heartache. Dear one, you are gifted with mental resources such as determination, self-worth, and kindness that makes you resilient. You are capable of coping with diversity and pushing through challenges in the pursuit of opportunities. The seeds of power lies in your ability to face the challenge, open the door to major breakthroughs, and leave nothing to chance. Dig deeply inside and use your strength to solve any problems you face. Your mantra for this month is, I am turning to my inner resources to respond to whatever life is taking. Your mantra for this month is, I am turning to my inner resources to respond to whatever is taking place in my life. I am turning to my inner resource to respond to whatever is taking place in my life. I am turning to my inner resources to respond to whatever is taking place in my life. So I will tell you, my dear, if there is a challenge that is arising to you, I ask that you just not focus on the problem, but really turn your attention to the solution. Create a vision for your life, and then allow your intuition to get you to that vision. Use your boundaries, set your boundaries, be wise, allow your life to be as good as you want it to be, because like the air you breathe, abundance is available to you and all around you. Turn away from those things that are no longer serving you. Be kind to yourself, protect yourself, don't be a hater. And then just completely surrender to the plan. Start telling yourself a better feeling story. Start telling yourself how that wonderful, miraculous blessing is going to come in your life, and watch God bring it about. If you take the advice of this reading, it will bring harmony in your life, and you will begin to harmonize with your desires, and you will be on the way to becoming the alchemist of your life. All right, y'all, that is all the messages I have for you. If it was beneficial for you, please give me a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, please click subscribe so you will never miss out. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Namaste. Also, if you are interested in reaching out to me or donating to me in any way, all of that information is in the description box below. Mwah. Take care. Wishing you the best on this journey.